The immortal John Hancock here, and I'm honored to have a good friend and special guest, Jay of Square Pegs. Welcome to the channel.
Thank you so much for having me, John. I appreciate you having me on.
So we've been talking on Facebook, and I know that we're both fans of the Nintendo Switch
Yes.
and what it provides. It has such a huge library, and a lot of people out there think when they think Nintendo, they think like first party titles. Mario, Metroid, Zelda. But when it comes to Switch, it's a lot of those first party titles. But the truth is, I think the Switch is one of the best supporters of third-party software for a Nintendo console. I mean, it's crazy how many third-party games and good third-party games on the system.
Oh, I completely agree. And one of the things I really love about the Switch is how much and how actively they support independent developers. To see support for some of those games that, 10 years ago, Nintendo wouldn't have given them a second look.
No, and I think it's really helped broaden the appeal of the Switch. One thing I really notice about the Switch is that they've really done a good job with bringing in games you wouldn't think would be on a Nintendo console, and
Yeah.
it's great to see. And
Okay.
so we're gonna pick 10 games, 5 apiece, that third-party games that we think you need to check out if you haven't already on the Switch. A great hybrid console, portable, handheld, and my first pick is Enter the Gungeon. And Enter the Gungeon was introduced to me by a friend of mine who knew I loved Robotron and said, "You have to play this game." And the mistake was he gave it to me on a weekend, and I didn't have any other responsibilities, and I actually got some quality time with this. Baron, you need to know about this game though is it's really, really difficult, and it doesn't matter how many times you die. It's about the progress you make, and it's just a fantastic. There's tons of unlockables and secrets, and it's a fun, like if Robotron met a roguelike with a bunch of extra characters and a little bit of Legend of Zelda thrown in there. That's what I think of this game.
Yeah, I first played Gungeon on PC years ago. And when it came out for Switch, it was one of those things where it was like, oh, no brainer, spending that money again. Absolutely. And I didn't really consider how well it was going to translate portably to be in a handheld game.
Yeah.
But that is such a great game to just lay in bed and play at night with headphones on. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I've died in that game. But yeah, I'm about halfway through the Switch version, and I've put in a lot of hours, and definitely well worth it.
I wholeheartedly agree. One of my favorites on the Switch. It's a great choice. My first pick is something everyone has probably played, but I love and I think it's wonderful, and it's Untitled Goose Game from House. So the idea behind Untitled Goose Game is you're a horrible goose doing horrible things to people that don't deserve it, and go. It's a very straightforward linear game. There's a checklist of objectives you need to complete along the way in order to advance through the town and complete your honking reign of terror. But it's just so charming and strangely innocent for a game where you're kind of a goose terrorist. It's I love it. It was a game I actually picked up digitally when it first launched, and I am 8-bit, which John, I know you have this as well.
Yes.
When this got offered, I immediately picked it up. I was like, well, I've got to support it. And it comes with not a neat little feelies. Like it's got a no goose sticker. It's got a catalog for the town, so you can actually learn a little bit about the town. It's got a map of the town as well, so you can actually see the entire village that you are raining terror upon. It's a wonderful little collection, and it was cheap too for what you get with it. I think it was like $40 or something like that. It's well worth it.
That's one thing about some of these Switch releases. Physical is they're fairly affordable, especially for the indie releases, and so that's awesome. All right, next up is a game that doesn't have a physical yet. We're fingers crossed, maybe someday. And that's Hades. And Hades has gotten a lot of attention. Really excellent selling Nintendo Switch. It's on PC as well. The Greek mythology roguelike would be the best way to describe it. And so many different play styles in this game. And that's kind of the cool thing. You can play it several different ways. The word that comes to mind playing this game when I check it out and play it is flow. It's definitely got that flow and the excellent graphics and art, and really gets you into that, Greek mythology universe. And it's got kind of a fairly dark story, and it's involved, and I really enjoy it. I really think it's a great marriage on the Switch, and one I want to play more. I haven't played a ton of it. What I've played so far, I hands down would recommend this. It's definitely well worth it on the Switch.
I completely agree. I've probably put about 35 or 40 hours into Hades.
Pretty good.
I adore it. Like I'm a mythology nut anyway, and this game was kind of tailor made for me.
Oh yeah.
I love Supergiant. I'm a big fan of Bastion and Transistor and Pyre, and this was just, it kind of checked every single box. But it's really cool because, like you said, there's different ways to tailor the gameplay. Each weapon that you can get operates a little bit differently and makes the game play differently. It's a brilliant game. Next up for me is from WB Games and Traveler's Tale is Lego DC Super-Villains. I'm a big fan of the Lego games. I've been playing them since the 360 with the original Star Wars Lego release. And I think I own all of them now except Lego Rock Band.
Oh, okay.
And this one's just kind of a great evolution and progression of the series. It alters the gameplay just enough to make it feel a little bit fresh. It's got a really fun storyline, and the graphics look great on it. Even though it is a Lego game, it doesn't have to look spectacular, but it looks great. It's a lot of fun.
A lot of Lego games are excellent. They're great to play with kids. They're great to play co-op. I see you have a steel case with that. Is that like a collector's edition? Let me see that again.
This was the pre-order.
Nice.
I don't typically pre-order the Lego stuff, but
so the case was like a bonus.
Yeah, it was the pre-order bonus at GameStop, and as a big comic fan, and my wife is a huge Harley Quinn fan.
Okay.
Couldn't pass up the Harley steel case.
All right, next up, Streets of Rage 4, and you're probably noticing, hey, this is still sealed. Well, this is something to consider if you really like a company or a game coming out. Don't wait to buy the physical. I would purchase it digitally, and it helps the company determine if they're going to make a release of it or not. And so I really think that, that's what I did. I bought the digital day one, and then Limited Run came out, and I picked up a physical copy of it. But it's everything you would want in a sequel for Streets of Rage. As the original characters coming back, they're a little grizzled and a little older, and there's new characters and excellent artwork and progression and unlockables. I mean, this is a fun brawler. I'm a big brawler fan, and this is just right up my alley. And it's Sega, and just wonderful.
Next up for me is the first entry on the Switch in the Legend of Heroes series. It's Trails of Cold Steel 3. This is a JRPG. Surprise, surprise, by the very long name. It's kind of a mix of like Fire Emblem Three Houses and Persona, in that you're in a school, you're at a military academy.
Okay.
And it's basic turn-based strategy, but there's some positioning involved as well, kind of like you get in Dragon Quest XI-S. So there's a lot happening in this game, and I picked that up on a lark on Amazon one day. It came up on a recommended for you for like $15. I was like, all right, yeah, why not?
Wow.
It's back up to 40. It was like a one-day sale. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll give it a shot. I'm just enamored with this series and this game. It is I've heard rumor that the first two are going to get remastered and released on the Switch.
Was that PSP releases for those?
I think it was PS3 and PS4.
Okay.
But there's been talk of them getting remastered and re-released on the Switch, which I am all about. I've already got part 4 pre-ordered that comes out next year because I don't want to miss it. It's for someone who doesn't get a lot of time with JRPGs, I like it because it is something I can pick up and play for an hour, save, put down, and come back to it, and I don't feel lost. I can remember where I'm going, what I'm supposed to be doing, which is rare as I'm getting older, but I love it. It's a very fun game.
Next one is a favorite of mine for a long time. I played this before the Switch version. The Switch version, I think, is superior in many ways. TowerFall, the best way to describe TowerFall is kind of like an 8-bit Smash Brothers, but it's got like an actual game to it as well. So yes, you can duke it out with your friends, but then you can actually team up and play against the computer and different levels and enemies. And it's got instant replay. It's a great tournament game. Like if I could, what are my top 5 tournament games that I've done? running conventions and shows over the last 15 years. TowerFall's on the top 3. And so I absolutely love this game. And a random little fact is actually it was one of the successful games on the Ouya. So the Ouya console, for people that don't know, I've been playing it that long. That's what I really played a lot of it on the Ouya with 4 players. But the Switch has an additional mode, and it's just wonderful to play. I can't recommend this game enough. And so it's fairly affordable. There now is going to be a physical release of it. I don't have that yet. And so I think Limited Run is doing a physical release of this. And so after all those years, finally a physical release. And so I definitely have to recommend TowerFall.
That is one that I did a video. Every month I do a series of videos of eShop games you can get for under $25 that are worth every penny. And the first one I did of that series, you commented and you said, you need to play TowerFall.
Yep.
And I am happy to say that it is coming for the December release of the video, which will be in 2 weeks. It'll be
Very
on
cool.
there. I am really looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's I mean, one of the best, I think the best bang for the buck for multiplayer experiences for indie releases on the Switch. And so I can't get enough of that game. A lot of fun. Really easy to pick up and play too. If you have a coworker or a family member, especially for holidays coming up, and they don't have a lot of experience playing games, it's an easy game to kind of pick up and play. And it's also a lot of fun to watch because there's instant replay and there's different modes and events that you can do. And so this is a kind of a fun one if people play and other people watch. So it's definitely a cool game for that.
That's awesome. Next for me is a game from Megacrit and was published by Humble Bundle, and that is Slay the Spire. Now, if you don't know what Slay the Spire is, it is a deck building roguelite where every time you play, the map is going to be different. The challenges you encounter are going to be different, and there are different characters you can unlock that have different abilities and different play styles. It's a really unique game. I've never really played anything like this, and it's very easy to lose yourself in for hours because you will die and you'll be like, oh, I want to keep going. I want to keep playing. I want to get through this. It is really, really well made and really well designed and a ton of fun to play.
Yeah, and when did it originally come out?
I want to say
PC like years ago, or
I think 3 or 4 years ago it came out originally on PC. There's actually a really big mod community for it on Steam. So we've kind of got the vanilla version here on Switch, but it is don't think that's a bad thing because the vanilla version is spectacular and you'll get a ton of gameplay out of it.
So I'm a big fan of card action games. Lost Kingdoms on GameCube,
Yep,
is a good example. That's a fantastic game where it's using cards. I know 1 and 2. I played more 1 than 2, but I hear 2 is pretty good. And so those types of games always intrigue me. I played Magic back in the day in college. Card games always have been an appeal to me. So my buddy kept talking about this card roguelike, and I'm like, oh, okay. And like a couple years passed, and then I found it at GameStop for nothing. And so I picked it up, and I knew that we were going to be talking about it today. So I finally decided, okay, I better play this ahead of time. And amazing. Amazing. If you have any experience with Magic or any experience with card games, you're going to feel right at home. It's fun, pick up and play. It's just the balance of like just enough choices, like choose your own. It's kind of like a choose your own adventure book with Magic cards.
absolutely. Yeah, that's a perfect way to describe it. And I don't want to be lost exactly. Like the most important thing I think you said there for people that might be on the fence about it, it's dirt cheap.
Yeah.
Like it's a Coke and a song you can pick it up for. It is, and it's so worth it. It's so much fun to play.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed what I've played so far. 4 different characters, tons of paths, and you keep going through it, and you upgrade your deck, and it's got some cool abilities to it. Definitely kind of a fun game to kind of pick up and play. Next up is Diablo 3. And Diablo 3 is amazing on the Switch. Now, I've played all the different versions. I played the PC. I got the collector's edition, big white collector's box for PC, and saw it evolve. My computer wasn't the greatest. And then it got released to the console. It's one of the few console releases that I saw evolve over time. I really enjoyed playing this with a controller. And so it's really cool that when it came to Switch, and I have a digital. I bought it day one digital, got it, and then the physical came out. Definitely had to get that. I've played all the versions. It has everything to it. There's tons of different modes. If you haven't played Diablo 3, now the Switch version doesn't look the best, but it's portable, and there's so much. It's great multiplayer, different characters. The story is so. This is really great for the loot. This is all about the loot. Okay, very few games can match the loot done in this game. Okay, I wasn't a big fan of the story. I'm going to be honest. I don't play it for that reason. I play it to upgrade my character or change a different fighting style, or this is a good version. They finally fixed some issues. They added a bunch of different options where you don't have to just play the story. You can play it your way. And I really love it. Just, I could go on and on and on about it. I maxed out like 7 different characters.
Wow.
I played a lot. And I maxed out like level 70, I think. I don't know what level it is now, but yeah, I played a lot. And, to max out a character, what you do is, the other easy way to do it is you play with level 70, you play with a noob, and then you can level that character up really fast. And so, but yes, this has got a lot of content in it. And if you like those types of games, definitely check Diablo 3 out if you have a Switch. And I think this is a good pick for Nintendo, because this is a good example of Nintendo really kind of catering to a totally different audience. Like you were saying, 10 years ago, this would have never came out on it. They're catering to people that may want to get a Switch as a secondary device, or have a PC and a Switch. And this is just, there's so much to love about this game. I can go on and on and on about it, but check it out.
The last one for me is from a series of games I've been playing for since the first one on the Game Boy Color, and that is the 5th entry in the Shantae series, and that's Shantae and the 7 Sirens. This is the physical edition from limited run that just released within the last couple of weeks. And it's way forward. They're the best in the industry at making platform games. It's absolutely gorgeous. The intro is like over the top fan service ridiculousness that you'd expect from Way Forward and from the Shantae series. And the game itself is just solid. Like I haven't run into anything yet that I feel misses in this game. It plays great. It looks great. It sounds great. The music in it is wonderful. And it's just a magnificent continuation of a great series.
I look at it and I kind of feel like I'm watching a cartoon, because it's so fluid. And then, it's just something that I really appreciate, that type of animation and frame rate and kind of feel when it comes to like a side scroller. And they've really kind of nailed that. There's huge fans of that series, and obviously it's the 5th one now. Of an ongoing series. So people love playing them. They're gorgeous. They're great to play, and it's just nice to see that, like it's nice to see when a really good game overall gets the support and people behind it, and sells enough copies where they can continue to make them. Awesome.
And this is a good example as well of what you were saying before. With when this released, I bought it day one digitally. Yes. I knew there was going to be a physical release. It's Way Forward at Shantae. It's going to be done by limited run, but I'm not going to not pay them the money that they deserve. I will happily pay them twice for a fantastic game, and it's brilliant. It's wonderful.
Yeah, that's definitely one I want to sit down. I've played a couple of them. I have the Wii U version, whatever that one is.
Half Genie Hero?
Yes, Half Genie Hero. Is that number 3 or 4?
That's number 4.
Okay, that's number 4. So I have that. I've played that. It's great, but I haven't played this one, so I need to play it. So awesome. It has been a total pleasure, Jay, having you on my channel. Where can people find you, and what is your YouTube channel called?
My YouTube channel is Square Pegs. I am not the TV show from the 80s. I'm the one that looks like me. I'm not a bunch of teenagers singing. So that is my channel. And you can find me on Twitter, and I am at YT Square Pegs. So,
and his information is going to be linked below. He's got a great and amazing channel, and it is awesome to have you on. Thank you so much, folks, for the ongoing support, and thank you for watching this video. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button for both of us, and make sure to click the bell as I'm uploading videos every week. You folks are wonderful and beautiful. This is the Immortal John Hancock and
Jay from Square Pegs.
You take care.